Now, Dr. Sampath, I assure you I will be short because I had my longest session yesterday, and I don't know how many of you were here earlier on when the lady speaker spoke about tapping the phone and then showing the clock, and then showing the calendar, and then showing the gun. But it's an absolute honor to be speaking to you again. And let me also, I didn't do it yesterday, I didn't appreciate truly the value of the work that Dr. Sampath is doing. When he approached me in Durban, there's a chap called Logi Naidu who facilitated it on various occasions. And, you know, the kind of work you do, you get people wanting to meet all the time. And I must be honest and say that I didn't really display the kind of enthusiasm that I should have. But having met him thereafter, and then especially in this trip, the ability to bring together such a wide, diverse range of leaders and leadership is an extraordinary talent. And I know that it's been repeatedly said that you've done it single-handedly, and I want to pay tribute to that. Of course, the subject matters here today is about a world perspective, and really it's this whole yesterday and today has opened my mind to the possibilities of a truly Tamil worldwide perspective on things, and of course the economy is fundamental to that. And those of you who have been able to be here reasonably consistently, I'm sure would find that it deepens your insights and actually excites you as to the possibilities as what could happen if we get really, really organized. Indeed, some of the speakers, because you are at the cutting edge of what you are doing.
Close the door, ma.
Because you are here at the cutting edge of what you are doing, then you're also frustrated by challenges that you face in your daily execution of your work. And you think that, no, you know, this government is frustrating us, or others are not up to par to meet the challenges that they are facing. And I want to assure you that some of these issues are quite universal. And you know, whether you somebody spoke about judicial activism and the way the courts are interpreting things, case backlogs, policy gaps, these are universal things. And from where I'm sitting, you're not appreciating the extent to which you are the cutting edge worldwide. From where we sit outside the world, we read the reports and want to be like you. So you're being too hard on yourselves, that you actually, when we read and understand and try to imbibe an understanding of the world as it is, we're seeing USA, China, India. That's what we are seeing. And we are seeing also the reports with great excitement that yes, the Chinese economy is going to overtake the size of the USA economy soon, but even more exciting is that the Indian economy is going to then leapfrog all through to be the leading economy. And some of the timelines are very exciting. One of the timelines is actually by 2030. Now you are making that happen, and you need to understand that and appreciate it, and I think you are doing it with so much of grace that is and humility that is inspiring itself. So when you talk about your growth rate sometimes coming down to 4.5%, and you go down to the States, it's 7 and 8, and somebody spoke of even 11%, that's mind-boggling for us in other parts of the world, because we're talking 1 and 2, and we are trying to reach 3 and 4% growth rate. So I'm just saying, understand the special place in history that you have at this point in time with the opportunities that you have, and keep the kind of value system that clearly, especially in Tamil Nadu, seems to be underpinning these efforts. Some of the previous presentations have already spoken about things like manufacturing, and you spoke about here in Tamil Nadu the very exciting things that are happening. And the minister announced yesterday the 50,000 electrical cars by next year, by 2020. That's phenomenal. But where I come from in KwaZulu-Natal, we also have Toyota present, a major plant there, and we're trying to develop an automotive supply park to the motor industry, and we think that there's huge opportunities there. Of course, in South Africa as a whole, you have Mercedes-Benz in East London, and you have in Pretoria the Nissan plants and other major companies. So what I'm saying is that there are synergies that those of you who are involved in the automotive industry here will find similar sectors there where you can add value to. Of course, in KwaZulu-Natal, tourism is big as it is in here, and we've had presentations that spoke to it. We have, I think you say you have the second biggest coastline in India, in Tamil Nadu, and ours is similarly also second. There's so many comparisons between Tamil Nadu and KwaZulu-Natal. We also have the second biggest coastline, but we have the best coastline of the coastline, because on the Cape side, it's the cold Benguela current. You can never put your feet in there for too long. It's so cold. Whereas on our side, it's the warm Mozambique current, and you can literally stay there for many, many hours. So the coastline of KwaZulu-Natal is a huge tourism destination potential. We have, of course, the wildlife, the big five parks there, wildland parks, which you can go to. We have the Drakensberg Mountains, which is a major tourism attraction. In fact, from a technology side, if there's anybody in the field of cable cars, they are looking for possible investors and designers for a cable car up to the Drakensberg Mountain. Of course, the IT and manufacturing generally, we have the two biggest harbors in the whole of South Africa, through which more than 75% of imports and exports to South Africa come through those two harbors. The one is the harbor at Durban, which is the main harbor. The one at Richards Bay is more the mineral harbor, the coal and iron ore and so on. So 75% of imports and exports come through those two harbors, and that's in the province that I represent of KwaZulu-Natal. So the spin-off from those two harbors, the economic activities is quite phenomenal, and the value chain there provides huge opportunity for investment. I must say that as South Africa as a whole, we're coming out of a 10-year period which has been a bit difficult, largely because of political issues. But the new leadership is taking it in a different direction, committed to a more modern and open approach to the entire world, dealing very decisively with issues of corruption and an efficient and ethical state. And I think those are matters from which we have parallels which we can learn a lot about. I'm sure you also have to deal with organizations and people who want to belittle the achievements of the state because of weaknesses around corruption or inefficient bureaucracies. So those are common things that we need to share ideas around and be able to raise the bar on our performance. I was very proud, and I spoke about it yesterday, that when this report came out about Tamil Nadu coming out first in the governance index of all the states in India. That's a wonderful achievement, and I want you to continue to set that kind of bar. In KwaZulu-Natal, in relation to the other provinces, we strive to do the same. On the issue of public procurement, which the speaker on the previous panel went into some detail, two speakers. We are also coming out of what is called a transition period in our post-democracy session. And we too have millions of poor, unemployed people who have been left out of the mainstream economy. And then there's what is called a toxic racial overlap between those who have and those who do not have. And that creates our own unique problem, you see, because in the history of colonialism, we say we had a colonialism of a special type. What does that mean? Whether it was in India or Mozambique or most other colonies, the colonizer was there, and then when colonization finished, the colonizer packed up and went away. In our country, a significant portion of the colonizers stayed and made that their home, but over the years it accumulated and entrenched themselves in ownership of the economy. Now that has to change, and that's a tension that we have to manage. That's why the public procurement that you spoke about, and we have a similar process, is absolutely critical to our successful transition. And I see huge comparisons and parallels between what was explained there and what we have back home. It's not an easy system because of the toxic overlap between race and inequality, but it's absolutely necessary. But in that procurement process, there's huge opportunities for economic investment. So Dr. Sampath, I'm sure you're about to ring your bell or show me the gun. I'm therefore going to terminate there by once again thanking you for this wonderful opportunity, and I will leave here extremely inspired and excited about the work you are doing and the prospects for my province and our country and indeed the rest of the world. Thank you, Nandri.